Do you develop yourself wholly, completely, or do you let some other things go and you focus on just one aspect of self-development? Well, that's what we'll be discussing today, this beautiful morning. And we are really glad that you joined us this morning. I'm pretty sure Jemima, Joyce, and Solomon are as glad as I am that you joined us this
I'm
morning.
so happy.
Sure,
I'm
happy.
excited. What do you expect of a joyous Joyce? See somebody hating on me behind the camera, but you can't change it. My name is Joyce, and I'm joyous.
Okay.
So you can deal with yours. I don't know about you. I'm talking to the person behind the camera, but you see, the psalmist say, "This is the day the Lord has made.
True.
I will rejoice. I will
And be glad.
rejoice and be glad in it." So we don't have any reason not to be glad, not to be happy.
Why are you trying to make us feel like our
You want to
name,
change your name?
like our name? There is no meaning attached to it.
You want to names? Okay, names like Hassan.
Okay, there is no
Where
found
do you
in the
derive
Bible.
the name like Denjuma? No.
Like
I
Ija,
mean, proud,
like
as in Ija. So, but I'm a proud Joyce. So
like
This
Benji,
Ija, I'm not inside though.
Honestly,
like Benji. You understand?
honestly, this venom I'm seeing this morning. Wow. But it's always
but I can share with them, so they don't mind.
oh, you can share the joy.
The
If
beauty of
your
it,
name
that-
is Hassan, you can share my joy. Your name is Ija, you can share my joy. Your name is Bendy, you can share my joy. So whoever you are, regardless of where you are coming from, I don't care whether you're my tribe or you're not my tribe. As far as you love my Jesus, you can share my name. So feel free to be joyous. Feel free to say, my name is Joyous Hassan.
Wow.
Joyous, Jemima.
Yeah, good. I can
He's
borrow
still
it.
JJ, you know, so
Okay,
that issue of JJ is surfacing again.
Oh well, mine is all encompassing, so no problem. We can
Okay.
just we can stick with the prudence. There's no harm there.
Very serious and focused.
Yes, and that's why we are serious and focused here, and we're talking about development,
Holistic
holistic
development.
self-development.
Mm.
So a lot of times, some people say, "Oh no, I'm developing myself in this aspect," and letting some, like, we're negligent about some other parts of our lives. And so, when we talk about holistic self-development, what exactly do we mean by that? Why do we have to qualify it and make it holistic? Why is it not just self-development? So basically, that's the question we'll be answering today, and things like that. That's what we're
I
going
want
to
the
be doing.
elder on my left to start. So
Oh,
that,
yeah, giving
yes. So that I can bank on his wisdom. As the generation before my own.
So what are you trying to say?
No.
I'm 100 plus or what?
no, sir. We're trying to say you can begin.
You know, in this part
The
of the
JJ,
world,
she-
where you have elders, you allow them talk before you. So I want to be respectful. You know, they said,
You know
They
what
said-
an elder can see while
Onima,
sitting
they
down.
said
A
that I
young
didn't come to
person.
work because I said I'm not feeling fine. And yesterday on the show, they said I was talking, pa 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 pa. So before, let me just be calm
Okay.
and wait for the elders.
I think it's
Okay.
because their
What-
generation is the same. That's why.
Yeah, I
No,
understand.
today
I
is not
understand.
my
And
generation.
Our generation.
It's their
Holistic
generation
generation.
today.
I'm
Holistic
particular
generation.
about
Okay.
my generation.
Yes.
We'll get
So-
to that
so-
point.
Yeah, let me say that this generation, I think they are leaving certain things, aside, thinking that once you just pick one and you concentrate and you are good at, that's just it. But you see, if you just permit me, let me talk about our calling. Our calling, our purpose of existence.
Reverend Doctor.
Yo-
Go ahead.
I
Thank you,
honestly,
Joyce.
but,
Thank you,
but
Joyce,
you
for
just
that
told the
honor.
words out of my mouth.
Professor, Reverend Doctor.
No, on this one, we are on the same side.
The same. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No
Let
problem.
me just support him. You, they are always stealing words out of your mouth.
She's stolen. You're talking about holistic development. This generation used to pick one and leave the other one. Go ahead. Yeah, we should see it as a calling. We're
Mm.
learning. Go ahead.
Okay. I think you people are watching. Sure, you are seeing what they are doing to me.
I
But
just
let me
supported
continue to-
you now.
You said you
I'm
said
still in
let
shock
me
from
you
the
said let me
response.
just support him for now. That's how you put it.
Sambo
Like,
Solomon, you are in the midst of
Holistic.
explanation.
Okay.
Go
okay.
ahead. It's a
Holistic
calling.
explanation
Mhm.
while this holistic disruption.
We apologize. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. So what I'm trying to say, the purpose of our calling is not just for you to handle one part of your life. We are expected to give that full package the reason why we are being created. So you see, in the first instant, when you say you are living some part, yes, to some it can be ignorant. They don't even know that is how it's supposed to be. So for that, we can say we will excuse that. But you should know that if you are called to give a total package. Total package in the sense that you are not supposed to leave one part. And that's why if you see how some Christians are behaving, they pick certain things that suit them in Christianity and they hold on to it and they are running with it. And some parts that they feel is part of their weakness, they give reasons why they do certain things. And that's not
They
our
give
calling.
excuses.
They give excuses.
And really where you're coming from makes a whole lot of sense, because a lot of times, even in morality, just morality and how you conduct yourself in an environment, I think it's Reverend Silas that always gives this illustration of a man who says that he has been born again, like a certain part of his body has been born again, but from down is not born again. This is
I mean, you hear them say that.
a lot of times you find people saying, no, this works for me and this doesn't work for me, so I don't have to work on that. I will just stay away from it. You will hear people say, it is in my nature to be this rude. It is in my nature to behave like this.
When you collect one slapping, you adjust. It's in your nature to be rude. Your family will tolerate you. You will leave that house and go elsewhere. Go and show that your rude attitude when you receive slap. It's this holistic development now. You think that you can learn a skill and then your attitude, you can just keep having your way with it. I mean, we live in a generation, like Sambo Solomon highlighted, where we think that we can just develop ourselves in this area and then this other area, like I don't care about it. Oh, it's my life. I always say, you see those people that will say, this is just me, or if it's either you take me like that or you leave me. They are dangerous people to associate with, because the point of change is the point of taking responsibility. But when you have weakness and you're proud of that weakness, then something is wrong with you. There are times that you keep, you say, I don't want problem, I don't want this, and then you try to, let me just put this person at arm's length and all of that. See, conflict in itself, like I always say, is not entirely bad, because in some cases it leads to development. And that is why the Bible says, scold your children. There are points that you use the rod. Like when you don't use it, you spoil them. So there are points where some of this bad character, when you develop yourself well, and then on another way you're saying, no, I'm going to leave it, you get to a place that they will use the rod and scold you. You have to change immediately. So you see, when you talk about holistic development, it's all encompassing, because we're talking about self. It's not me picking this area of my life and developing in it, saying that, I'm going to school, educationally, I'm going to be developed, but then spiritually, no. It doesn't matter. Character-wise, it doesn't matter. No, it is holistic. You develop spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. Like, it's all encompassing. You don't pick one area at the detriment of the other, but you have to put in deliberate strategies and steps to say that in these areas of my life, my mind, my heart, every area of my life, I'm going to develop physically, mentally, emotionally. I would develop it. I need to be focused, like far beyond, just making money. We live in a time where everybody's just focused on making money, cashing out. It's common to hear people say cash out and all. We are not thinking of mental development. And no wonder some people find themselves in a toxic work environment and they die there. Like they will say, we die here, disregarding their mental health, not addressing the issue and leaving it within the issue. And every day you go home depressed. Every day you go home emotionally unstable. At the end of the day, you find out that you're developing some mental health issues because you're scared of leaving the job because you don't know which one you're going to get. And at the end of the day, you have to stay in the psychiatry because you neglected your mental health. Sometimes we go into wrong relationships because we feel that, oh, I'm of age, I should be in a relationship. And though the relationship is abusive, you still stay in it. At the end of the day, it's either your emotional health is at stake or you are not even anywhere to be found. There are people that relationship have cost their lives. So we have to be deliberate that in every area of my life, if I'm saying that I want to be spiritually, I want to grow, then physically too, I should, like, what is expected of me, I should find myself doing. Like I said during one of our show yesterday, people think that, oh, they are spiritual. When it's time for you to go and vote, you will not go and vote. You stay in your room and say you are casting and binding and you are building your spiritual life. I recall that back then, when I went to boarding school for my SS1, I got there and I had a lot of stories around witchcraft and how people just joined secret society. Some call it I feel good, especially for those that share the same or come from where the likes of Hassan are coming from. So you see, it's common to hear terms like I feel good and all of that. But then I found myself in the school, and it was like, I cannot study in this environment when I'm hearing that there are witchcrafts, there are this. The best thing I should do is to always read my Bible. And anytime I go for night preps, you see me with Bible studying. Before the end of the night preps, I'm praying and saying, God, please, so no witch should come to me in the night and all of that. Every day, that was the journey. When the result came out after first term, I cannot mention the number because some people be on my case. Like I was way behind because I was not studying. I recall that someone came and met me and said, Joyce, you need to be reading your notes. Every day I notice you're reading Bible. In this school, if you fail, you'll be withdrawn. And I say, hey, I cast and bind you. This is one of the witches. You want me not to read, not to pray, so that she can come in the night and press my neck. I say I will intensify this reading of the Bible and praying. After first what do they call first term? When I saw the position, I came home to meet my teacher mother. And when she finished addressing me, I first thought to myself, why did I ever go to the boarding school in the first place and all of that. But when I went back, I realized that beyond developing myself spiritually, I need to also create time to develop myself, like educationally, because that's the reason why I'm there. So sometimes we develop ourselves in one area at the detriment of the other, and we find ourselves suffering it too. So holistic development is all encompassing. You see, when you talk about development in a nation, it's not complete, because when you say, oh, the government are building roads for us, every local government, every community, there are roads, infrastructure. You can't say that town is developed just by roads, infrastructure. Development, there are certain indices that you look at that make you say that this particular nation is developed, this state is actually developed. Look at the infrastructure, health, education. Look at the road network. Look at the life of the people, economic indices. There are a lot of factors that make you say that, oh, yeah, this state, this nation is actually developed. So that's is applicable to self too. Beyond emotionally, you have to consider spiritually, physically, mentally, and all of that.
And like we have stated earlier on, like there's nothing more than balancing every part of your life. A lot of times you find people pushing, firing on just one aspect, and the others are suffering. It's just like the part of your body. If you say you are going to take your bath and you wash your legs and your hands and your face, you've not taken your bath. You can do that and decide to do full makeup, wear the best garments you can wear, but the fact still remains that you have not taken your bath. So until you are able to carry every other aspect along, find a way to balance them, then you are fully developed. You find people going to school and then for them it is just their academics. Every other way, that's not their business. Everything suffers, and there is no way you can hide this thing. If you are focusing on one way, the other places are shouting and screaming, we are in need, we are in need. So it is a way to balance every way. When you see a child, whether a small child or a big child, that the parents are intentional about just one aspect of his life, you see the others very obvious. If you're building a house and then you said, okay, I want a study, in this house. I want my books to be arranged this way. I want the cabinet here. I want this. I want this. Then you left the remaining part of the house for the architect. You know, do your job. That's your job. And the person would design it the best way he can, giving you what you asked for your study. By the time he's done, that house will not be to your taste. But that study is what you wanted. Why? Because you were so much intentional about that study. But every other place, you don't feel like it is a home for you, because that is not what you want. So holistic self-development is trying to find a balance in every other way. Joyce just mentioned physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, every way. A lot of times you find someone that is very brilliant, but he doesn't know how to relate with people. He's very intelligent. In fact, he can't even teach someone else. He only knows how to grow himself, improve himself. He cannot relate with someone. Someone cannot even construct a sentence with somebody. You find him stammering, but he's very brilliant. So these kind of things are what we are talking about. You cannot dwell on certain areas and then leave others. We are not saying every area should be 100%, no, but you should try to find some form of balance. Carry everybody along. And
You know,
that
while I
is-
was growing up, my and boarding school, all that. When I'm going to school and I come back and I'm complaining, Mom, can you imagine? They did not provide water for us, and we had to struggle with this. Mommy, do you know that this happened and that happened? And I keep complaining and complaining and complaining. When I'm done complaining and tabling my complaints before my mother, this was always what she wanted. She tells me, so why did you go to the school in the first place? And over time, I understood why she keeps asking me that is because the school is a learning ground for every aspect of life. It means that because I went to a Christian school, it means that spiritually I'm growing, educationally I'm growing, mentally I'm growing, morally I'm
Morally.
growing. I'm just growing, and financially as well. I learned to handle my money. The school emphasized on that. There are certain things they release money for you on basis that you have to be accountable. What do you need it for? Why do you need it? And how would you spend it? You have to apply that way so that you are able to access the money that you get, and things like that. These were things that were set in place to teach you certain things in life. Later on down the road, I understand that a lot of the things I thought were punishment, and a lot of the things I thought these people were just depriving me of my joy and my pleasure. But no, it was teaching me. So I think on this set we've talked a number of times, a million times over, of how it is important that you learn wholly. You're not just learning one thing, but like learning as much as you can learn. In communications, they teach us that you're supposed to know everything. You should know a little bit of everything. And this is it, because you need to be informed. You have to be informed in all aspects of life. You can't just be informed in one side and leave the other side, because definitely it will be detrimental to you down the road. If you say you are informed educationally and spiritually, you're just, I don't care, down the road you would see spiritual issues coming your way, and you're like questioning, what should I do in this circumstance? If you decide to do, you decide to focus just on your education and you don't focus on your morals, when you get into the labor force, the labor market, you're struggling. You're trying to find your bearing, and you keep wondering, like, why are things not working out? Because your character is lacking. So holistic self-development means that you are ready to learn everything that you need to learn, and you're not letting one place. The scale has to be balanced. It cannot be tilting one way and leaving the other, because definitely if you put weight on one, the other one is weightless. So
you talk about school, and that's the reason why some school we said learning in knowledge and character. That means it's holistic. So that means with your knowledge, if you don't have character, the knowledge is useless. You understand? If you have the character but you don't have the knowledge, that means it's not complete. That's how it is. And if you look at our setting, you know, we are set in a such a way that you are to project the original plan of God. And if God can say, let's make man in our own image, can we go back to that statement? Who is God? You talked about balance. Is God a balanced supernatural being? You will say yes. Because he created us with balance. It's just that it's our own selfishness that we created the imbalance. That permit me to use not struggle. That in his own quest to bring us to his original plan, to his original design, he always creates a remedy or a way out. And you see how he has been dealing with man until Jesus Christ came. So can we draw our attention now to Jesus Christ? When he was, doing his ministry, how did he approach things? You see how the disciple challenged him in some instances. He would have just tore that part. But no, he drew their attention. I'm here to create balance, not what you think. That's when the people are hungry. Maybe at that time the disciples, they are ready because they know they are going out for a mission. They are well kitted. Let me put it that way. But the people are hungry and they are complaining. Maybe they are telling him, just continue talking. No problem. They will find their way out. But he said, no, we have to feed them. He created that balance that was needed there. Tell them that, yes, it is important to give them the spiritual food, but they need the one that will sustain the body, that will make them mentally stable to listen to me and digest whatever I am giving them. So look at his life. When they came to arrest him, right? Look at what one of the disciples did. Sharply, he removed his soul. Remove someone's ear. And I said, no. Ideally, he should say, deal with him. How would they come and arrest me? Look at the situation. But he said, no, let's create that balance. It's not now. And he said, it's not now. That's wrong. He followed them. So if you look at his life, how he condoled himself. And he said, if we are in him, that is the pattern. Already he has designed a prototype of balance when it comes to Christian life. And you ask yourself, why did the Bible talk about the fruit of the Spirit? Because that is a yardstick that will measure who you are in Christ. Because the day you receive Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, genuinely, you receive Jesus Christ as a personal Lord and Savior, that day you receive the Holy Spirit automatically, which becomes your constant guide to teach you things that you're supposed to know in Christ Jesus. And then by that, you are expected to produce that fruit of the Spirit. Self-control, love, name them. The moment you are not seeing those things coming up, showing, that means there's a problem. You are created to bear fruit. You are created to create this balance, this peace, how it should be. So that's our purpose, and that's why we are created. And that's why he said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Why is this saying? That means you should not stay dormant. You not stay dull. You should go and seek for knowledge. Because with knowledge, you will impact people.
Yes.
So you see, that is how our design. Just imagine you having a child, and then you want to groom that child. Because that's when the training starts. You want to groom the child, but you are concentrating on book. And you are leaving the character aspect of it.
Over
like
time, your
morals.
child grows.
You understand? And at the end of the day, the child will get the education. But when it comes to moral, that is when the father or the mother or the parent will start crying. This child is giving me trouble.
What I was going to say, when this child finds himself in school, in fact, you give opportunity for this child to be bullied. Why would I say that? If you build your child in education and not self-confidence and mental stability and emotional stability, this child is easily being picked upon because he cannot handle himself in a circumstance, in an environment that he finds himself. And it happens to us too when you have grown to adulthood and you have left certain things down the road. You have let go of certain things. If you've not built your self-esteem over time, you are easily walked upon. People just trample upon you and continue living their lives, and you struggle to find your way through. So holistic self-development means that you're carrying everything along. And from the angle that you're coming, I think from the beginning of time, if there's one thing that God kept on teaching us through the stories that we've read and through the lives of a number of people in the Bible, is one thing. He wanted us whole, to develop ourselves completely. When he said, from the 10 Commandments, when he said, have no other gods before me. Spiritual balance. Honor your father and mother. Respect. Do not covet your neighbor's respect, courtesy, and mutual living among community members of the community. And the list goes on and on. It already teaches you how to live, build your life wholly, completely. There's nothing that is left unhandled. And that's how he expects us to build our lives. We really need to focus our lives on building every aspect. We can't just let one slide and let the other.
I mean, why is this discussion very important? Because we live in a world where if you're not developed holistically, you will suffer it.
Yes.
One way or the other. If you don't suffer it, at the end of the day, maybe your children will suffer it.
True.
You talk about children in school, how that, parenting, let's take them to the best school, which nothing is wrong with that. But you see, you find out that such parents do everything for their children, or they get people that will do everything. Even if your child is supposed to just go pick something, no, you prefer somebody help the child pick. Now it means that area of that child is being affected. No wonder you see children like that with no confidence, low self-esteem, like they grow up and become bullied. Like they grow up, and because they can't help themselves, you find them in society, they are being cheated by those that had maybe the streets wise or all those kind of things, or those that just choose to be wicked. You see, there are certain things growing up that our parent made us to do, and we felt like, this our parent don't love us. I don't know how children then used to think that their parents hate them, because look, there are times that I also felt that
hard
way. Tough love. Like yesterday I saw a lady.
Father tell me to do this.
I saw a
Are
lady.
you sure I'm not adopted?
I thought of that several times.
I asked that
My
question.
mother, when she asked me to kneel down for get me in that kneeling position, and when she later I'll be reminiscing and thinking of my life. Am I sure I'm not adopted in this house?
Is she finding joy?
How are you finding joy, giving back to joy? And so I mean, there are things that our parents did with us that we thought they were just being wicked, and that we even questioned their parenthood and even their love. But today, when we look back, we appreciate them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we can do things like for ourselves. We can also imbibe same to others around us, because it was them teaching us holistic self-development. That beyond you knowing how to read and write, go and wash your socks. Go and make your bed. Go and clean this. Go and do that. Go and get this so place, and like that. See, you are developing holistically.
And
You
it
are
has
knowing
made us
how to.
independent.
Do you understand? So it made you face the challenges of life. At the time you found yourself at higher institution where you are in the hostel all alone. Now you see yourself navigating through a lot of things. Why? Because your parent had already pushed that in you. But you see, for some that did not have that opportunity, you see them lost, you see them confused. At the end of the day, they are dropping out from school. Why? Because everything seems strange. No, everything looks stressful and challenging. Though you have the capacity, you've built the capacity to endure through those challenges, because growing up, you've been taught and showed the way. Now, these people, this is all new to them. And then when the parent even try to follow them for registration, they say, leave this child. He's now in the higher institution. and the child is already frustrated. Some of these children end up with drugs
I
because
wanna-
why? They felt, oh, I
They
don't even know
cannot.
what to do. Like they're living confused.
Why
You
do
know
you
what
think?
you are
Why
saying?
do you think we have high rate of suicide? Stuff
Exactly.
in this era. You
It's
talk
just
to a
because-
child and then he just want to go and end his life. Like ending his life is a payback for what you and you're only doing the right thing for this child. By the time he does that, he is facing his own consequences at the end of the day. But because of the tough love that we went through, we are able to have patience.
Yeah, if you
They
like
don't
break all the
build-
plates.
They don't even have any iota of patience at all.
At
They
all.
just want things to be done. Nobody wants to go through queue. Nobody wants
Yeah.
to do anything the hard way. We just want something very short with big results.
Easy life.
You know what? The both of you said something. He said they don't even want to go through any queue, so there's no patience. You talked about how they are lost. Go for a registration, like resumption when people are coming to school newly in the higher institution. Resumption, the first years, and find those that their parents help them to do everything. You see some of them at the verge of tears, some of them even crying, some of them giving up and coming back. There are just a lot of trouble that you see them going to. But for some that they have been built over them, over the years, they've been built resilient and patient. You would find that they are patient and they take their time and finish up registration. And before you know it, they know where to enter and how to go about things. They are confident to come out and ask questions. And this applies also when you get to start work. When you're done with school, because school has a certain form of restriction, yes. But when you're done with school and you move out of the school environment and you're out in the world, for those people that were able to handle themselves well at school and maneuver their way and move through school confidently, you'll find that these are the people that are easily expected to excel because they have confidence when they come. They know that they know this thing and they have the character to bring these things to fruition, to bring solution to the problems that the organization are looking for someone for. So you find that these people get better opportunities because they can stand up for themselves and they can work for themselves. This is someone that over time has been able to build himself in this. So holistically, we really need to work on every aspect.
Let me just talk
You
about
can't-
one of the implications. If you don't develop yourself holistically, it was the day before yesterday that you discussed about people pleasing syndrome.
Yeah.
You find yourself compromising.
Yes.
True.
You find yourself trying to please people because you did not develop yourself in that area. So I have to please them so that they can cover that space.
True.
See, no matter what you do, if you think, oh, I'm escaping development in this area and that area, if you don't do it, you find a way of getting people
Covering
that
it.
will do it and you have to pay for it. Now, let me just speak to some group of people that, okay, career men, career women, you are so focused on education and then getting to the peak of your job. There's nothing wrong with that. But if other areas are neglected, you pay the price at the end of the day.
You will.
We've seen parents that, okay, or mothers, oh, I'm a career woman, I want to get that position of a director. You neglect your children to the society. The society will breed them. They will breed them well. When you get to that top of the career that you actually wanted, you find yourself struggling with children in that are doing drugs, children that have gone wayward, and then that peak that you expected that, okay, oh wow, today I'm here, I should enjoy my life. These children begin to make life miserable for you. That you find yourself developing health challenges and there's nobody to stand for you or to even take care of you. So while we strive to be better in different areas of our life, or in a particular area in our life, we must not neglect the others. Like, think about it. If you are very developed in terms of your skills now, and then character development is zero, it will be difficult for you to make it in life.
Right.
That is why people liken bad character to flat tire, because if you don't change it, you will not
You
go
go nowhere.
anywhere. See, today people or employees do not trust people with skill. Now they want to question your character before the skill. This week, I had opportunity to recommend someone for a job, but the first question they asked me, because of the caliber of the person. I mean, it's the political office holder, and they needed somebody that would occupy a particular place, and they said I should recommend. But the first thing they told me is the question that they asked had to do with character. Hope this person is cool-headed. Hope this person has character, because like they need somebody that is focused. In fact, the first question was not about the work that the person was going to do. How creative is this person in this
No.
area? No. The first question I was asked, hope this person is cool-headed. Hope this person is this and that. Like
Well
the
disciplined.
emphasis was on discipline and character than even the skill. And no wonder schools like the University of Jos will say we are training in character and learning. In fact, the character comes before learning. So while you are trying to acquire education, for example, you would not neglect character, because that is what will that is what will make you stand out. I mean, everybody is studying the same course as you are. Everybody is studying. It's the same lecture you're receiving that Jemima is also receiving. So what will stand you out? Your personality and your character. So you see, so while we strive to make it in this area, let's not neglect the other area. And that is why this conversation about holistic self-development, if you neglect it, you will pay for it later. And some people have paid for it dearly. Like we've seen instances that people that are well-to-do parents, rich, they focus so much on their businesses and their jobs and forget about parenting. At the end of the day, the society breeds their children for them, and they are crying and weeping because, or they have to send the children to rehab and all of that, spending a lot of money. Now it's like, I mean, it's very expensive now
Very,
to take
very.
your child to rehab, and look at what you have to pay because you decided that, okay, I'm just going to focus on my job and leave this other area. So, however you choose to develop yourself, just make sure that it's all encompassing.
And you
No
know you are
areas suffer.
responsible for your own self-development. You shouldn't wait for another person to say, Joyce, this is your character. Are you sure you will not learn, you will not work on it? This your no, you are responsible for your before someone else will pick up on a bad character. You should see it first and begin to work on it. Let people see that you are a different person than who they knew a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. Why do you think someone will look at Prudence and say, oh, that is how she has been 10 years ago? That is not a good testimony. So you are responsible for your own self-development. And if you're not being able to develop yourself holistically, you won't even be able to do it for your children in the long run. That is why we have parents that are breeding children that do not have character. You will see a beautiful young lady dressed responsibly, but when she opens her mouth, what is coming out of her mouth is different from the person you are seeing. That is character. That is why you go for job interviews and nobody is even listening to you. Why? Because the moment you walked in, your character showed already.
No matter how you try to hide
No
it,
matter
it will
how
show
you
up.
try
It
to
will
hide it,
embarrass
yes.
you to make you lose on that
Yes.
opportunity.
You sat down 30 minutes, you're already complaining. Why is the interview not taking place? Your character has already shown you off. And in their own books, they have marked you wrong without you attending the interview. So your attending is
Or when
like...
you have attended the interview.
So your attending the interview is like to fulfill all righteousness, but they already know that this person is
You are
not
not
the one
taking-
for the job. And then for parents that do not holistically develop their children, you know, it will bounce back to you at the end of the day. The child may think, okay, you're helping him, you're giving the best for him. By the time that child grows up and consequences are backfiring on him, that child will backfire on you as well, because at that point he's getting to a realization that I thought you loved me but you didn't. I thought you did this but you didn't. And at the end of the day, you're wailing and crying. So why don't you begin to rectify it from yourself now? Not even on your child, on yourself.
From yourself.
Until you're able to help yourself, then you can help your child and others.
made
that
a
are
very
around.
vital
I
point.
agree with you.
Just to add to what Jemima said, a very vital point. You are responsible for yourself. Like when, as far as self-development is concerned, you are the number one person.
That's
and
why it's
why
called self.
Most times we wait for other people to do the development for us. We blame, we keep pointing fingers. My father did not do this, my mother did not do this, my school did not do this, my workplace did not provide
My
this, my
uncle.
society. That's how we are brought up. Like we keep pointing fingers to people that are not even alive.
Yes.
People that you don't even know them. We keep saying it's the devil. Where did you see him? So we keep pointing fingers. As far as self-development is concerned, you must be deliberate. If you want to leave from that step where you are to the other step, it is a decision you have to make, and you have to be deliberate. You are responsible for your self-development. I saw a write-up that someone said nobody loves you more than your parents, something like that. So while you're waiting and hoping there is another person that will come and do the miracle and change you, like, it behoves on you to do the needful. So take that decision. You can't continue complaining. How long do you want to complain? Because you keep complaining, the situation will not change. So even if your parent did not do well in terms of raising you up, or your society or the church, you think they didn't raise you well, re-raise yourself. Why are you pointing fingers at them? Because now you know right and wrong. You know the right way, you know the wrong way. That is why you can say, oh, it's my father that is at fault, or it's my mother. I grew up seeing my mother prostitute. I grew up seeing my father stealing or an armed robber. That is why I joined it. It's my father that cheated me. So the fact that you now know it, it means that you have the responsibility to change the narrative. How do you change it? Re-raise yourself.
You know, let me just add to what you're saying. A lot of times when people say they're developing themselves, we rely solely, in fact, largely on people's input to our lives. And that's not how to develop yourself. Because if you rely on people's input, it's either they will lead you astray or they will lead you right. And it's really hard for you to be able to decipher which one is leading you right and which one is leading you astray. So the best thing to do is to work on yourself. And if you want to really develop yourself, you have to let go of excuses. That's one. If I remember growing up, that's one thing my mom always drums. There's no. If you're complaining about something, don't give me excuses. Why did you not do it? And mommy, there was no light. There was no. That's not the excuse she wants to hear. She wants to hear the reason why I did not do what I was supposed to do. That's being accountable to myself and to my parents for what's the points that for the work that I was in I was handed over. So if you want to be developed, you want to develop yourself, you have to let go of excuses and know that you're accountable. Accountable to yourself, accountable to your community, and accountable to God. You're accountable. Holistically, you're accountable. You're accountable to taking care of this body that you are in right now. So you have to be careful and meticulous about training this body. You have to have it under your control, that you're working with it well, and rightly so.
I think for some people, they feel it's late already. Like you rightly said, yes, some is because of the foundation. They found themselves like, the foundation wasn't really good, because you can tell some parents, they don't even know the reason why they are giving birth. No, that's just it.
I
So-
saw one like that.
Yes.
How I was just pitying the child. I saw like a very young lady that gave birth. And
baby
then
giving
she
birth to
was-
baby, right?
I mean, I just pitied the child, because from even how that she bought banana and she was eating, the child was crying. She even did not care about whether the child was comfortable at the back or not. I said, I mean, just look at. Please go ahead.
So what I'm trying to say, it's so unfortunate, honestly, and to some of us, we don't plan it. We didn't plan it,
Where you
but
came from.
life, gave us that, and we just have to accept it. So if you are someone like that and you just feel you have lost track, no, you can retrace it. Yes, you can retrace it. It is possible. Yeah, for some of us would have given up, But look at it, with the help of God and people, the right people around us, because the Bible says iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
And then, like encouraging you, like you rightly said, when you depend solely on people, you don't know really who meant well for you. So you never can tell until maybe you spend a lot of time with them, and then you discover it's either the person is playing you, just using you, like you said. If you don't develop yourself, and then somebody will just pick an advantage and just see the potential in you, use it without even telling you that you have that potential, but he will use it to his own advantage. So if you are feeling like it is late, no, it's not late. You can start something, pick it up from there. You never can tell. God knows your heart. God knows your struggle. Definitely, He will bring you out from that predicament, and then you will see your life taking shape. Some people get like, for instance, Obama was living at 40 something. Trump was coming at 70 something. You understand? So that's life. You understand? So already God had a plan for you, but before then, just try and do something. Equip yourself, so when the opportunity presents itself, you will not be struggling.
True.
I need to speak, shortly to or quickly to those people that are workaholic, or oh, it's my job, my career desire require that I work from morning till night. You're just focused on your work without looking at other areas of your life, like your health. You neglect your health. You don't eat because you want to get job done. See, when sickness comes, you can't do the job,
Or you don't sleep,
and
you have pride in it.
do you
I've not slept
understand?
for 3
Did
days.
you know
I'm
that
working.
I was reading, I didn't sleep, I was trying to
How
get
is
this
that
job
supposed to be
done.
something to brag about?
You should be the self-development
There's
should be
no balance.
holistic. Take care of yourself. As much as it's important, focus on your job or to get the job done. You need to take care of yourself. Your mental health, your physical health, all is important. Let's create time so that it will not bring us down at the end of the day. Let self-development be holistically.
True. Very true. Thank you so much for this beautiful conversation,
You're welcome.
everyone. It's always a pleasure. And thank you too for staying with us. Thank you so much for viewing on Facebook and for following. Please make sure that you like before you go. Just like. It's not that hard. Just like and share. And we really appreciate you for staying with us. Thank you so much for always being there for us. And that's why we are here. We are here for you because you are here for us. So let's continue doing this. Meet us tomorrow again for another beautiful, lovely discussion. And you will not regret it. I promise you that. Bye for now. See you.